The Rio de Janeiro collections are finally out in Upland, and we've learned some interesting things about it along the way. Hey there, John Henry here, SSFTG. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. Rio de Janeiro has come out with the collections, and a lot of folks are now asking, right, what properties should I fill my collections with? Because remember, the collections, when you add the properties to them, they boost your earnings. So we got to make sure that we're adding the right ones to get the best bang for our UPX buck, so to speak. In this one, I'm going to show you how I choose my collection properties, which ones I add to the property list for the collections for the boosts and all that fun stuff. And that way, I can ensure that I'm always utilizing the best properties available that I have at my disposal for those collections. And that way I can show you how you can do it too. Now, if you aren't in the Upland metaverse yet, make sure to jump on in by clicking the promo link. You can do that by going into the description down below the video, or just head on over into discover.upland.me/SSFTG. By using the promo link to get started, you're going to be given 6,000 starting UPX to get going, and that way you can get minting straight away. And if you decide to put some cash into the game, you also get a monster 50% bonus to your first purchase with a cap of 50,000 UPX, so you do not want to miss that. Now, if you aren't familiar with collections, you can find them by going to the three dots at the bottom, and then collections, which I might actually be covering. Yeah, it's right behind me. Oh no, my wood hoodie, By the way, just a little side note on the merch side of things. Ooh, baby, this is. Oh man, this is the softest hoodie I've ever felt in my life. I wanted to order it and get a pilot going because it's an embroidery, and I wanted to see how it all turned out, and man, it's looking good. And underneath that, we've got the other wood hood one, so we are repping hard today, and oh man, I can't wait to get this hoodie on the market. I've never felt one so soft. It's suede. Ooh, oh man, I love it. Anyway, I can't really figure out a way to get myself to stop being transparent, but either way, mildly transparent, right? So anyway, if you're not familiar with collections, after you go in them, simply put they're a grouping of properties that need to satisfy a certain criteria, and they're typically rarer than your normal run-of-the-mill property that your block explorer would just stumble upon. So as an example, I have collections for Rio de Janeiro. Let's click the little globe icon. And then we'll go down to the bottom, Rio de Janeiro, and we'll go down here. Now, what we'll see inside of here is an example. This is the Rio de Janeiro standard collection. I've already collected this, which is denoted by the badge there, and it's filled in and colored in and all that. If you've collected it, but it's not active, this will say inactive, and in the other window, this will be kind of grayed out a little bit. And then this will also tell you what you need to do. So we have to own 3 properties in Rio de Janeiro, and these 3 little dots or chips or whatever you want to call them are the properties that I've utilized to add to this collection. And if we go into add collection, this will show us which ones I've chosen. But why did I choose these ones, right? Why specifically those instead of some of the others? We have to remember how collections and earnings in general within Upland work. All of the properties earn on the base rate of monthly UPX that was based on the minting price, right? The underlying minting value, and that's distributed every 3 hours to the property owners. That's actually, if I close this, what you'll see in the top right corner there. You also earn your sends and all of the other stuff. Anything that you earn UPX-wise goes up in that top right corner there that you can collect, and that's where you'll see your property earnings every 3 hours. So this is some UPX that you can earn along the way, but by placing those properties in collections, you're adding that boost multiplier. So go back into the collections again. Let's jump on over into Rio, and let's look as an example at the well, Copacabana is covered. So I'll just look at the Rio de Janeiro, and you'll notice that right here it says 1.25x. Well, what does that mean, right? 1.25x. That basically means that it's taking my normal earnings and adding 25% to it, right? That is an incredible boost. I mean, 25%, just basing it in a collection is insane. And that's the reason why, if you have properties and you have open collections that they can go in, they need to get filled. Now, we could fill these collections going one by one. Click Edit Collections, and you'll see if you have any properties that fit the criteria of that collection, they'll fall right up at the top there. So I can say, oh yeah, that's the one that I want, cool. Or this one I don't have any properties, cool. Like Santa Teresa, I don't have any properties there, so there's nothing in there. Or, as an example, Copacabana, I have 3 properties, so I've got enough for my collection there. There are going to be times where you might not have enough property. So here is an example. I can see that I do have a property in Ipanema, right? Rua Nascimento Silva 550, whatever. It was a really cool property, but I was only able to get one. That's a bummer, right? But look, you'll notice it has an exclamation point. Now, why would that be? Well, simply put, I can take this property because it is of decent size and put it into one of my other collections. So that way it's still earning. It might not be earning the best it can possibly earn, but at least it's still earning something. And you can see here that it's earning 498.71, but it could be earning 722.14. It's more likely going to be better for resale value than anything else, but at the time being, I want to make sure that it's at least earning as much as it possibly can be. Now, like I said, we could do this manually, going piece by piece by piece, seeing what fits, but the problem is, if you've minted a lot of properties, this list can get really extensive, and then you just start getting lost, like which ones do I use? Because it doesn't necessarily put them in the appropriate order. Sometimes it does a good job putting the biggest ones at the top, but then other times it just throws them all over the place. So we want to make sure that we're choosing our properties carefully and accurately so we're doing the right ones. The best way to do this that I've found is by going over to upxland.me and doing a search for yourself. Yes, this is one of those instances where it's actually okay to do a search for yourself. But what you want to do is go to upxland.me and then go on the left side and go to user search. And then you want to do a search for your username. So I'll just search for me in this one. And so now that I've got myself pulled up here, what I want to do next is I want to sort not by last price or anything like that. What I want to do is sort by mint price. And I want to make sure that my mint price has the largest one on top, right? So the best way, and let me make sure that we can actually see this. That way, whoop, hang on a second. Where'd my window go? There it is. So let's make sure that we can see this. Yeah, okay, good. So we want to make sure to click right here on the mint price twice, so that way the arrow's pointing down, it's descending, so we've got our largest ones on top. Now, I obviously don't care about ones in Los Angeles if I'm trying to fill collections in Rio. So what I want to do is go down this list until I see, there it is, I've got my first one in Rio, which is at Rua Maj Damon 81F. I absolutely love this. It's one of my favorite properties in Saud. I am so pumped that I got this, one of my targeted ones. So this is also a relatively large property. It's actually the largest one that I own in Rio, starting from the top, working our way down. So if we look at this property, right, if we go on into that property, which I do already have in the collection right here, but you'll notice there's two, 81F and 81D. Well, oh, right, which one should I use? Which one's better? Which one should I go with? Well, if we look through this list, this one is 81F. So that's the one that we want to make sure that we're checking in on. So we'll go into 81F, and if I look at this, you'll notice that it is earning a decent amount, 745.95. But if I click over here on the right side, I'll be able to see if this is applicable to fit in any other collections, just like the one for ePanama. Even though I only had one, I can still see if it's, if it fits. Now, if I click over here, you'll notice that this doesn't work for any other collections. It's just Rio. That's the only one, and that's the base city collection. So because of that, I might as well throw it in my base city collection since that is my largest one. Now I have effectively gone down the list. I've chosen my biggest one that I don't want to get rid of because I'm not going to be selling this one. I love this property. And if I am going to be selling it, it's going to be at a pretty decent markup. So I'm not getting rid of it anytime soon. And because of that, it makes the most sense to add to a collection so it's getting the best bang for its UpX buck. Now, the collection that we're trying to complete for Rio needs 3 properties, so I want to go down the list and find my next one. Now, in this case, I need to go to the next page, so I'll choose a little arrow down there in the bottom corner, and we'll keep on working our way down until we find the next one in Rio. And here it is, the next one in Rio, once again in Saudin. We already talked about this one. This was one at 81D, so that one is also in the collection, and that's because that's the next largest one. But always a good idea to double check and clarify. Head over to the property, use the More button, and then click on the earnings on the right side. Make sure that this doesn't work somewhere else, right? It's always good to double check, and that way we know that this is the most optimal property to add to our base collection, and it can't be added anywhere else. Now, more importantly, along with the fact that it can't be added somewhere else, I'm also reaffirming and double checking the pricing. As an example with ePanama, it doesn't make sense that I would use that in my base collection earning 1.25 when I could likely sell it for twice the value to somebody who wants to use it in an ePanama collection that earns 1 point whatever ePanama earns. So in this case, this is one that for a little while I might hold it in here, but it would make a lot more sense to try to sell this property because it's worth more, right? Of course, somebody's going to pay a lot more for that. Or if I'm looking to complete my collection in ePanama, and I can get some decent, prices on those properties, which I'm probably not going to right now during the hype phase, then I could do it that way. And since I already have one, I would only need 2 more to finish that collection off. For me, I'm a big fan of optimizing, and in this case, I only have the one in ePanama. It's worth a lot more, so to me, I'm probably going to add this to the list to sell sooner than later. Now from here, this is usually where I start going a little bit freak mode and start adding them to my spreadsheets and my different collections that I have available and what they're part of and where they're part of and if they have structures and how much they're worth being sold for if I wanted to sell them and how much they're earning and all kinds of fun stuff, but everybody does their own thing here. I'm a big fan of keeping things organized and spreadsheeting, if you couldn't tell. Again, all of these spreadsheets and everything are available to folks in the Discord room in the Woodhood Heroes area or for the farm in the Bel Air or Woodhood Farm Zone. We've got those covered too, but I'm a big fan of spreadsheeting so I can keep track of them, see where they're at. And that way later on, if it's time to optimize or move things around, I'll know exactly where they are, how much they earn, what their percentages are. I'll know everything about them. Before we go, make sure to swing over to the merch store and check out some of the wicked awesome stuff that we've got going on over here, ssftg.live/merch, because not only does this stuff look incredible, you can get some shirts for your kids, you've got youth shirts on here, we finally got those on there, got some sweaters, bandanas for your dogs, awesome mugs, cool stickers, I revamped a couple of the stickers, and this incredibly soft hoodie, which is going to get loaded up there sooner than later. All of that you can find on there, and 50% of all of the profit goes towards our chosen autism charity of the month. We just got a new month, so the month of August is going to focus on the Autism Science Foundation. That's going to do it for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed going through and kind of seeing how I approach the overall collection side of things, and really just looking at how everything operates in general. From the collections perspective, honestly, if you have collections that can have properties added to them, you need to add them to it, right? You're literally missing out on free UPIX. It's added every 3 hours, even if you're going to be selling the property in the next 3 hours. It doesn't matter. Get them in those collections so that they are earning as optimally as possible. And then from there, you can do whatever you want with them, but at least you know that you're doing as much as you possibly can to earn as much as you can along the way. I hope you had an incredible time minting in Rio, and I hope your luck in Rio was absolutely immaculate and fantastic. I wasn't able to participate a huge amount in the Rio launch, and the collection side of things was a little bit lackluster for me. If you noticed, my holdings in Rio have dwindled down quite a bit. I'm only holding the ones that I really wanted to grab a hold of, and the other ones just didn't land the way that I wanted them to, so we'll stick with nodes and collections for now. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Until the next one, thanks for watching, and we will see you all in the metaverse. Bye.